6 developers make a game, but no communication between them is allowed. Welcome to the Pass the Game Challenge. The twist this time around is that we've hired a bunch of developers from Fiverr, the sponsor of this video, and have paid each one a different amount. We'll see if this translates to the quality in their work, and whether or not we'll end up with a beautiful finished video game. So without further ado, let's begin with the first developer.
Painted Black, a game about that exact song, or rather the first line of it. You see a red door and you want to paint it black, and then you see a black door and you want to paint it red. Pretty simple. The first 3 hours I spent on making the visuals. I worked on 2 models in Blender, a door with realistic dimensions and a paintbrush with bones on the tip so I could animate it later. And of course, not a single Blender session goes without googling how to do something you forgot. Then, after importing the models into Unity and making some materials, I changed the surrounding environment. So now it's just a door on a flat plane in a void. And finally, after 4 hours, I made a simple first-person player controller. Then I attached the paintbrush to the camera and began making a special invert shader. I wanted it to invert what is behind the handle, but with some rules, where black gets inverted to red and red to black. And with some help from ChatGPT, this is what I ended up with. Now comes the part where you actually paint the door, but you don't paint it by smearing paint over its surface, instead you just hit it with your brush and get pushed inside. And for that to happen, I had to make an attack animation, with some heavy stretching going on, and a door opening animation which you can't even see during normal gameplay. It do be like that sometimes. I also tried to make portals in the doorway where you could see the previous or the next room, but I didn't manage to make it seamless and ended up commenting out some bits of code referring to that, so that someone could finish it if they wanted to later. By this point, the gameplay part was pretty much done. It might seem that you go to an infinite number of rooms, but in reality you just teleport between 2 of them. There were only 2 things left for me to do: effects and sounds. I made the simple particle effect of dripping paint on the brush, and then added these paint blobs that get launched all over the place when you swing. And when it comes to SFX, I knew it was gonna be easy, because I am already working on a game that has a lot of swing, punch and splat sounds in it. So I just copied them over to this Unity project and made some little jingles that play when you enter a room. And there we go, a game where you smash a door with your brush to enter the next room. Can't wait to see what other developers can make out of this. Maybe they will add some enemies, or maybe they will make the door move after entering a room. Who knows? Check out my game, check out my channel, I'm out.
Hello and welcome. This is what I added to the game. It was a truly unique opportunity, so I wanted to create something meaningful.
I downloaded the previous developer's work and started exploring.
Oh, interesting. There are 2 rooms, one bright, one dark, connected by doors. And the brush mechanic is actually the most impressive part. It is smooth and realistic.
So I thought to myself, what could I build on top of this? Then I opened the project and started working on the idea I had in mind. I quickly started scripting, writing my own logic, changing some of the old code, and building the base of the emotional side of the game. I added a dual timer system that tracks how long the player stays in each world, integrated ambient environmental sounds, and built visual storytelling around each space. I also wanted the world to respond to the player emotionally, so I wrote and implemented message triggers based on how long the player remains in the black room. To make the experience more alive, I used Mixamo to download and animate 3D characters. I carefully selected the animations and placed them in the environment to match the mood of each world. Then I wrote 3 voice lines. One of them gives a hopeful, comforting feeling. The other 2 are emotionally heavier, designed to make the player reflect or feel discomfort. I used AI-generated voices, edited them slightly for tone and clarity, and ended up with exactly the feeling I was aiming for.
No enemies, no objectives, just a quiet emotional message. You have to think deeply and choose where you stay.
This project took about 8 to 9 hours to complete, and I'm really proud of the result.
Thank you for letting me be part of this challenge. I can't wait to see what the next developers add. Goodbye!
Now, really quick note, 80% of our regular viewers have not yet subscribed to the channel, so if you subscribe and the channel keeps growing, we'll be able to create more of these collaborations and really ramp up the scale. It's a great support. Okay, with that said, let's get cracking.
Hi everyone, I'm developer number 3. In Fiverr, I'm known as Gametutor, but if you happen to be one of the few who have seen my content, then you might know me as Baker Dev. Noah handed over the project to me and I have 15 hours to work on it. I'm currently the most expensive developer as of now, at $200, so I really wanna make something awesome. After opening up the project, I was really surprised with how good it felt to swing your brush around. By hitting the red door, I was transported into a second room. There were a lot of NPCs around, but unfortunately some of them felt out of place. But that's to be expected since the other developers had to use pre-made assets with the limited time that they had. I wanted to take advantage of this brush mechanic as it felt extremely good to play. I thought about implementing an enemy type, but to make it fit with the game, I modeled this house like enemy. I gave him an angry face, and now you may ask, why is he angry? Well, notice how he's not painted? That's right, my plan was to make a mechanic where you could hit an enemy and you would paint them. I did a hit effect for the enemy, then I made this brick to serve as the enemy's projectile, and when it hits, it breaks. And I also made him explode. But at least he's happy. I also coded a sound manager to handle all of the sound effects. I'm about 5 hours in and I'm struggling to make the concept fit with the rest of the game. After some thought, I came up with a few areas that could be improved. First, it makes a lot more sense for doors to open only if the brush color matches with the door. Opening a black door with a red brush just doesn't feel right to me. Secondly, I think we need a new room, but the current room system is a bit of a mess. It's gonna let me add more things without completely reworking it from scratch. Trust me, it's not pretty, so I'm gonna figure something out. I need a new mechanic where I could change my brush color, so I thought of using paint buckets. I modeled the bucket, then I also need a new system to interact with objects, so I spent some time coding that. It took a while, but hopefully it will make things easier for the next developer. After that, I noticed a strange issue where you could see through the brush. Fortunately, it was an easy fix. I simply replaced the custom shader with an unlit one, which resolved the problem completely. With 2 hours left, I started getting worried because there were still a lot of things I wanted to add, but I pushed on regardless. I made this new room in just under 10 minutes to save on time. Hopefully the next developer can take this and improve this. Then I made it possible to teleport to a new room, and I wrapped up the project by adding a few enemies to the room. They don't have any AI yet, but I was able to create a solid loop where you move between 3 different rooms. It's not a finished game, but hopefully the other developers will be able to take it from here. Hopefully I'm gonna save some time for the other developer.
Hello and good day, my name is Haris and I go by the name Blackace Studios on Fiverr. How I interpret the game's concept is this. The 3 rooms signify different emotions. First one representing sadness, second one representing going through tough times, and the third one representing good times again. By the way, in the second room, the player has to collect the red paint to go into the third room, which to me signifies gathering some motivation to fight and go through the tough times. What I found was missing in the game from a gameplay perspective, I thought that we could give the player something more to do. So I thought the best way to tackle it is to introduce some combat. So I introduced a new emotion called hope, which is represented by the green color, the green paint, and I added another room which the player will go into after going through the second room. I took a model of a demon and its animation from Mixamo. I call these the demons of despair. Wrote a script for its behavior so that it would roam around, chase the player, and when within a specific distance, attack the player. With each attack, it would steal some of the light from the scene. The player has to avoid being attacked repeatedly and getting lost in the darkness of despair while fighting the demons. Player has to fight the demons of despair, some with hope, the green brush, and the others with motivation, the red brush. I also added some deep messages of my own. After that, I baked the nav mesh, attached the agent component to the demons, and we're good to go.
I'm Rakib Jahan. I make mobile games and I run a Fiverr agency called Gameloops. I opened the project. There are some people crying, some complaining, and I'm holding a giant paintbrush that can slap people. What does any of this mean? I don't know, to be honest. I spent an hour tearing down my hair trying to think of how all of this can work together. What if this paintbrush is actually therapy? So I reused the paintbrush, kept the color buckets, and built a game where you dive into someone's mind and fix their feelings. First up, sad girl. She says no one cares about her. Suddenly a dark spooky door appears, obviously her brain. I added 3 NPCs and a few color buckets. The NPCs have color codes floating above them like a puzzle, and the color buckets represent the girl's mind. And I turned it into a therapy rhythm game. Dip the brush in the bucket, connect with the person using color, and once you slap enough emotions into the people, she is emotionally connected to the NPCs. why go to a therapist, right? Then I found this model of an old guy. He blames himself for everything. He's a classic overthinker and his brain is a total war zone. It has a few colored orbs flying around and each orbs represent his inner voice. They're yelling like, you ruin everything. You dip the brush, you find the right color to slap the spheres, and then you slap them and destroy the inner voice that is spreading the negativity. At this point, even I didn't know what was happening. So to help the player understand what's going on, I added a narrator.
Behind that door, self-loathing at industrial scale.
So yeah, a confusing ghost game, which was turned into an emotional healing simulator of some sort. Who knows?
Hi everyone, my name is Sohail and I am a Unity game developer from Pakistan. First of all, this level selection basically, you can see here right now I have the walls and lighting and a matching skybox here. This is the level 1 of the game. I just improved the scene in this level and you can see a progress bar. When I will click this, then the level progress is 33%. Let's play the next level. This was also developed by the previous developer, but you can see here I have added a skybox. Let's hit this. Now you can see there is a health bar appeared that I have added for this scene, because before this there was no health bar and a lot of bricks was hitting with the player and the player was not dying. So this is the last level that I have done. We need to match the colors. There are 5 colors at the top and we need to match these colors that are on the ground. Black one, green one. So see here, when this finished, then again a new level appear and it's ongoing. The first color that we need to match is the yellow. I just selected this red and it's saying the game is over.
Welcome, painter of minds. Another soul in need, another mess to untangle. No pressure.
Getting a little AI voice acting here.
Inside her
Oh my
thoughts.
goodness. Ah, okay. So red. Got these slightly uncanny valley-like characters. Him especially. Great overlap with the brush. That feels really good. Red.
This person now feels the connections. You're doing better than most therapists already.
That was the first character. Okay. Oh yeah, she's dancing with joy now.
I should have done more, said more, every bad thing.
Acres of blame, floating and shouting.
This is a very interesting concept. We're entering the minds of these various characters. It's really cool that every character is different. I was thinking it was going to be the same. Okay, so I just need to dodge these projectiles. Ooh. This is really interesting. This is not bad at all. Not bad at all.
That's one down. Fewer voices yelling at him now.
Yeah, they're kind of joyful and peaceful now. Look at that.
I don't know how to reach them. Or anyone.
She says, no one cares. You'd think she's exaggerating, but she might not be.
I love
Give it
that.
a smack.
I love the concept.
Inside her thoughts.
Oh man, it's the end of the game. Strong points are definitely the story, the facts, just the general idea. I think it's really good, and the execution is also pretty smooth. I mean, there's no bugs anyway. This could go pretty far. It's a rough base. I'm not gonna say it's an absolute masterpiece. And what if I skip that character and just go further here? What is there at the end of this tunnel? Thanks so much for watching. Using Fiverr for this project was an absolute blast. The link to that is in the description. And if you want to see more fun game dev collaborations like this one, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Cheers.